Hello, dear ones. So, got an interesting question. Your other video talked about Kundalini. I know Muji didn't care about it, care in quotes, but Sri Ramana did answer. I'm wondering why he didn't say it was recommended for everyone. Is there a different path than transforming Kundalini? Great question. So first of all, why did Ramana say it wasn't recommended for everyone? Well, he said it was actually, it's a dangerous path, he said. First, you have to raise the energy up. And then this is what Ramana said. First, you have to raise it on the path of Kundalini Yoga. You have to raise it up, and then you have to bring it back down. And that he said that is a very subtle, I'm paraphrasing here, but in essence, a delicate and a delicate process. I don't know that Ramana talked about it, but I've in other texts that it's possible for the Kundalini to get misdirected. And I've read some classical yoga texts on it. In the modern world, it's kind of like, oh, I just meditate on each chakra and the Kundalini awakens and da-da-da. But if you read the classical texts on Kundalini awakening, it's quite a delicate process. And there's a lot of physical purification, a lot of emotional purification. It's like spiritual surgery, really. And I believe that is the essence of why Ramana did not recommend the path of Kundalini Yoga or traditional Hatha Yoga. Traditional Hatha Yoga is Kundalini Yoga. That was its goal. Well, I don't want to say all traditional Hatha Yoga, but regardless, that's a deep subject right there. So that's the first part of the question. Next, is there a different path than transforming through Kundalini? Yes. So how do you answer that? Well, so first of all, in the Ramana Gita, Ramana says self-inquiry pulls the energy from all the subtle channels of the body and just redirects them into the central channel. So in a roundabout way, self-inquiry is a path of Kundalini Yoga, but it just doesn't mess around with the chakras and the purification. It just draws all the energy into that central channel, which ultimately will lead to a Kundalini awakening. Without the individual sort of guiding the process. So the end result will be the same, the Kundalini. However, the means by which it's done, very, very different. And Ramana didn't say that these were the only paths. He spoke, of course, very highly of the path of surrender. And he also spoke about bhakti, and he even spoke about karma yoga and japa, and he spoke on a wide range of paths, and he said Kundalini yoga can lead to realization. Bhakti yoga can lead to realization. I don't know if he ever said it about karma yoga, but he definitely said japa yoga, the repetition of a mantra, can lead to realization. Ramana was very much able to guide people on a wide range of paths. It's one of the reasons I love him so much. In my own experience with Kundalini, I experienced a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. It's not something to seek after, or I wouldn't recommend seeking after it. And yeah, wonderful, interesting question. Thanks so much for asking. And I feel like there's one more thing that wants to be said. Ramana was quite adamant that all paths would lead to the goal. And he spoke of a Yanai as someone who had ascended to the top of the mountain and who could guide people on the different paths up the mountain. So it's very fascinating to reflect on, well, Kundalini yoga or traditional Hatha yoga, you do physical purification, you meditate on each chakra, you do different kriyas and different pranayamas, and boom, realization if it's done correctly. Self-inquiry, there's all sorts of preparatory practices, which I've shared multiple times, get ignored, but there are preparatory practices. They don't really involve the body very much. And then you inquire, and that spontaneously draws the energy into the central channel. Boom, very different path, same result. And that's one of the cornerstones of Hinduism. That's not to say that every path is valid, especially in the 21st century. There's a lot of what I think of just BS spirituality out there, but that there are multiple valid paths, and that ultimately they'll have the same result. Thank you so much for joining in. Take care. Much love.